Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Chris Massimo back again with some more Apex Legends gameplay. Hope you guys are doing well today, and for today's video, man, it was actually pretty intense, I'm not gonna lie. As far as you guys know, the new limited time event that is actually currently out right now is for Dummies Big Day. And, just for my own, I would say, experience, I would say, honestly, it's been frustrating. The only reason for that being is just because, sometimes I just can't identify which team is which. I can't tell who's who, and especially not being able to have any abilities, it's been a little difficult for me. And of course, I know that, there's people out there that play Battle Royales, such as like Call of Duty Warzone, and, there's no like powers or anything at all. But if I wanted to play Warzone, I would be playing Warzone. Obviously, I'm playing Apex Legends for a reason. It's been pretty fun. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie though, it's been pretty much of a mix-up. So honestly, of course, I might say that it has been pretty fun. I've been getting some pretty cool clips, and I'm pretty excited for you guys to go ahead and see it. So with that being said, hopefully you guys do enjoy it. Of course, I just wanted to go ahead and include this intro clip over here because I'm not gonna lie, I was one shot right over here, and honestly, the way that I didn't die, I honestly have no idea how. But the shield swap was super clutch, and then obviously I am gonna die very soon as well too. Hopefully, I was trying to see if I can go ahead and pull out the squad wipe, but I literally had a P2020 with no heals and nothing at all. But it is what it is. It happens. So other than that, guys, I just want to say I appreciate you guys clicking on today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next 10 seconds. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the video. So as you can see, we are playing some Dummies Big Day, and I am playing as the Green Power Ranger today. But for the most part, I am running an alternator and a hamlock combo. As for the reason why, it was actually just the guns I was pretty much stuck with. And as far as you guys know, I am just in love with the hamlock, especially this season. I feel like it's a big sleeper, and a lot of people really just don't utilize it. Just because obviously the R301 is still super good because it's semi-automatic, but I feel like the hamlock is just a super great gun. Obviously with the fact that you can have a little bit more recoil control, the damage output is really well, and then just especially if you put like a great sight on this thing, you can actually just spam this long range, especially with a single fire mode, and this thing will still automatically just melt people from long distance. But the gun that I would say that I'm most like not comfortable with in this particular match would be the alternator, and the reason for that being is just because I just really don't use it. And it's a great gun, don't get me wrong, it's just I feel like the Volt has been able to go ahead and just completely take over on all the SMGs that are available within the game. I feel like I see everyone with the Volt constantly, but the alternator, if you can actually just land all of your shots and just understand the recoil pattern, you're honestly just going to be able to go ahead and just melt like any team. I feel like the bullet capacity is actually pretty well, the damage output's pretty well, fire rate's actually really good as well too, and entirely just the gun overall is just a really fun gun to go ahead and use. And honestly, I just wanted to go ahead and see if I can mix things up. But I do understand with the fact too that I was actually just trying to play casual. I didn't really want to go ahead and be too much of a sweat. I know that it took me a little while to go ahead and grind out for this particular win, but eventually what ended up happening is that we were able to go ahead and clutch up. And the only difficult part that I would say is just the fact that I was solo queuing. Obviously, like I always say that Apex Legends is a team-based game. Communication is very huge, especially being able to go ahead and communicate with your teammates, understand where the other enemies are. Strategically, speaking, you have to go ahead and just rotate. You can't push every fight. You have to be in a great position to go ahead and make sure that you maintain ring control. But right over here, my teammate got caught looting in the other building, and it was very unfortunate because he ended up going down, but luckily we did get in time to go ahead and rescue him. And I felt like maybe I should have go ahead and pushed up, but I saw that my other team was just straggling right behind me, and he was going to be able to go ahead and keep the other teammate distracted or the other enemy. So we were in a good spot, but at first I couldn't really find him, and then eventually I just saw that someone was shooting at me from the ground, and I was like, oh, okay. So then next thing you know, like I said, I was able to go ahead and just melt this guy with the alternator, and I felt like with any other gun it would have been a little bit more difficult, just because personally I just feel like the alternator really doesn't have a lot of recoil, in my opinion at least. But as you can see over here, we were just kind of just pushing up on every team that we possibly can. And obviously for everyone that knows, the replicators are an amazing feature within the game, but I feel like it's a huge disadvantage sometimes because you have to be really aware of the fact that obviously your surroundings and making sure that there are no other teams around you, because I don't know if a lot of people realize, but the moment that you replicate something, it just sends out a big, huge like burst in like in the sky. You know, obviously you're gonna see something, or there's gonna be a little pop-up that says that the other team is crafting, and it's a great thing for both people to obviously for the enemies to go ahead and be aware that hey, you know what, there could be a team that could be potentially running up on us, or they could just bait the other team by just crafting some ammo and then honestly just waiting for them to go ahead and come by and then just melt them. Or as for the other team, if you're pushing up on a team that's unexpectedly just waiting for some crafting to go ahead and finish, you guys can really get the drop on them, and then now it's just really unfortunate for the other person. But right over here, I was hoping I was able to go ahead and get an R99, and I was actually just praying for it out loud. I was like, please let me get an R99. And the next thing you know, I looked at it and I was like, man, there's like no weapon here. And then my teammate actually ended up pinging it. So I was actually super fortunate about it. And of course, the R99 ended up coming in super clutch, especially towards the late game. So at this point within the game, obviously, like I had mentioned, I didn't have any communication with my teammates. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure that we were in a good spot. And obviously, with the ring the way it is, we're kind of on the outside of it. But, best case scenario is at least the fact that we had the high ground. So, and I knew that there were some skeeves within the area, because what ended up happening is I did see some people just sneaking around, but I just didn't know where they were. So just to be safe, we wanted to make sure that anything behind us wasn't going to be available, and obviously that there would be nobody trying to go ahead and jump on us. But honestly, our teammate that actually landed in the very front, I feel like it's kind of his fault that he goes down. And of course, I know that I'm just, saying a little bit of a ruining just the moment, but I mean, you should be landing with your team constantly, especially if you're solo queuing, because you're honestly just expecting to go ahead and die. And what really made me a little upset or just irked about this whole situation is because the teammate actually saw, that how we were playing. Obviously I was able to go ahead and get this knock, and then of course being able to go ahead and finish off a few of these other enemies within the area. But the moment that we actually go ahead and retrieve his banner, I'm like, all right, cool, let me go ahead and bring this teammate back. So I'm actually running towards the respawn beacon, and then he decides to leave. And I'm like, dude, you were totally capable of actually getting back for the go ahead and respawn. But I guess it was very unfortunate anyways, because, what ended up happening is that this other teammate was just going to go ahead and just camp right then within the area. And maybe if I was going to actually go ahead and respawn our teammate, then the enemy would maybe had gotten the drop on me, and, I could have actually died, and, that would have been able to just to go ahead and throw the game. So I guess it worked out in our favor for him to go ahead and just leave the game. And honestly, I don't know what it's like when you leave a game and then the other team actually still gets a win. I don't know if you get a notification or not, but if he gets that credit for that win, then cool. I mean, he did help us, especially towards the late game. But for the most part, it really shouldn't, count, because you left the game. You know what I mean? But right over here, we did see that circle was obviously to our right, but we had this other skeever just chilling right here by the rock, and I didn't want to push him because honestly I just wasn't too sure if it was just like a full team or not. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I would have pushed off on this particular person right there in the distance, maybe we could have actually just gotten the kill. But just with the type of player I am, I like to know everything, and of course I'm very technical. I can be very cautious as well too, but sometimes I can be very aggressive. But for the most part, I like to know where all the other teams are. I want to make sure that I'm well aware of what's the exit plan and the strategy. I don't like to push gunfights that I really don't have to. And luckily, of course, my teammate was able to go ahead and just finish off this guy right over here. So, I was thankful that he was able to go ahead and hold his own. But obviously, there was a full team right over here with sniper rifles. That was honestly just very annoying. But I was able to go ahead and just crack their shields. And, of course, making sure that they are fully weak. And then the moment that I actually heard that they were getting in a fight, I was like, all right, this is actually the perfect moment for me to actually just get the perfect third party. So I was actually creeping up on, almost 9 kills over here. And, of course, for this particular season, my highest amount of kills was 9. So I was actually pretty hungry or aggressive. So I was like, please, I need to go ahead and get some kills. And, with this R99, it's just been amazing. I honestly just missed the gun. I wish that they would put it back within the care package. But, I'm not going to lie. The Volt is still a great alternative. I'm not mad about it. And I'm actually pretty thankful as well, too. But I think it would be great to see an R99 versus a Volt matchup and see what alternatives that people go ahead and choose between those two gun options. But it is what it is. Hopefully we'll see some changes within the next season. But we'll have to go ahead and just wait and see till obviously when that comes out. So other than that, guys, today's video is actually coming to an end. We were able to go ahead and get the dub, so I was actually pretty excited about it as well. We absolutely popped off. But other than that, guys, if you guys have made it this far, I would appreciate it if you guys would go ahead and consider liking and subscribing. It does help me tremendously. But other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.